guys, and welcome back. I am going to film for you today just a little meal prep video, kind of giving you some tips on what I do for my daily lunch. I sometimes do meal prep the same ingredients for all 5 days, and I have a video that I posted a while back about that. We'll link to that below. But sometimes during the week, I'm very much a person who likes a lot of variety. So a lot of times I'll depend on leftovers throughout the week, and then I'll have 1 or 2 meals that I'm going to use as my go-to if I don't have leftovers. So today I'm going to show you kind of some salad ideas to use some different spring vegetables, cucumbers, radishes, that kind of thing, to make a nice healthy salad mix, and then give you some ideas of what you can add to make that better. Stay tuned. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is I'll wash everything really thoroughly and I'll lay it out so that it can be drying. I'm going to today chop the vegetables individually, and I love these little storage containers by Rubbermaid. They have the little insert, and they do seem to keep the vegetables a little fresher. Sometimes I'll put like a half a paper towel in there to help absorb liquid, like especially with lettuce, because it tends to be a real watery vegetable. So if you're trying to make that last the whole week, sometimes that will help absorb some of the liquid out of that. But for cucumbers and radishes, that's really not necessary, or I haven't found it to be. So I'm going to just take and I'm going to chop all of these things up. I like things pretty thinly sliced. I'll store them, and then when I get ready to make my salads, all I've got to do is grab out the containers and put what I'm wanting for the day in there. Super easy. I think sometimes if you're going to try to make a salad do all week, I have put all the ingredients together and it does pretty good. But for things especially like tomatoes, if you put all that together, those vegetables are very wet and they tend to cause a lot of sogginess in your other vegetables. So storing them individually like this, and then everything's cut up, it's not a big ordeal in the morning to try to get up and get a few radishes out and get a few, get your cucumber out. Everything's ready. You just grab it, throw it together, and go. Also, I like to take advantage of whatever meats we're having at night. So like tonight, we're going to have some grilled salmon. And with that, I will have extra. I always try to cook a piece or 2 of extra meat, and then that can be added to my salad. So it's just really handy. I really like to use the leftovers, so then next week when we have chicken or whatever meats we're having, it's really easy for me to throw an extra piece on the grill or cook up an extra piece in the skillet, whatever we're doing, and throw that into the salad. It's just a super easy way to be prepared for your week. I have learned this: if you're not prepared by doing a little meal prep on the weekends, it makes your week hard. For example, this past week, it was my week to go to the grocery store, so we went last night, and I was running low on some vegetables. I didn't have a whole lot. So I ended up eating out 3 times this past week. So that's just not good. So it's negatively impacted my blood sugar, and it also didn't make me gain weight, but I didn't lose weight either. So I do think there's a lot of benefit to doing your own cooking and not relying on, even though I try to pick healthier restaurants, plus it costs a fortune when you do that. Even though I am trying to pick a healthier spot, it doesn't matter. You still tend to overeat because the portion sizes are so big. And let me just say, every place has fries with that. So I have to stay away from those places if I'm going to avoid all that kind of stuff. Even if it's a healthier place, they still have some kind of fried chips, and that's my weakness in life. So I'm just going to get these radishes cut up, and we'll move on to the cucumbers and get all of that done. So it fits really nicely in that. They store on top of each other, which is really handy. So you can put several of these in the fridge. So those will be ready to go. Now I'm going to move on to the cucumbers. Now I'm just going to say this time of year, we're hard pressed in our area to get really nice fresh vegetables. They're just now starting to come back into market. So you just have to do the best you can. My salads is usually this time of year consist of cucumbers, radishes, onion, maybe some green onions out of my garden. That's coming up really soon. And, just different lettuces. That's about all. So some really cool ideas to help you take your, get a little extra nutrition in your salads is to add things like sauerkraut. Sauerkraut tastes really good in a salad. It gives it a little tang, and it just works out really well. So adding in something like that, I also will add in things like corn or black beans because that adds a little more, you know, protein and just makes it a little more filling if you're running low on actual vegetables. I also think it's cool to add like spinach or raw kale. There's my cucumbers. So that's all done. It takes 5-10 minutes at the most to prep and have everything really handy. So that'll stack together in the fridge. When I get ready to put this meal together, I've already got the lettuce washed and I'll pull that out. I'll tear that into my bowl. I don't tear my lettuce ahead of time. I feel like the less you can handle and break that down, the better. And then I'll add these ingredients. Like I said, whatever meat I'm having for supper that night, I'll add that in the next morning. Add sauerkraut. You can add black beans, corn, just anything you can think of to extend your salad a little bit and make it different. That helps make it different every day too for people like me who like a lot of variety in their diet. Now, another thing I'm going to do this week is Polish sausage. So let me grab that and show you how I do that. Okay, so the second part of my video, I'm going to show you guys just a really quick and simple thing that I like to do a lot. I absolutely love kraut and I love it with Polish sausage. Simple Truth makes the best in my opinion. It's an uncured Polish sausage. It's called a pork kielbasa. It's very, I don't know, it's just the best I've had. I've had several different uncured, the ones without nitrates and so forth, but I like this one the best. If you have the chance to try it, yeah, I really recommend it. So sometimes they don't have it, but most of the time it's very easy to get at Kroger. So with that, I will cut up some onion. I'll take this one. I had a little bit left in the fridge, so I'm just going to use it up. So I just like to, all I do, I don't even do peppers with it. I just do onion. That's my favorite way. And I'm just going to cook these onions down and then add in the Polish sausage, heat it through, and divide it in half. And I will have, that'll get me 2 meals for lunch. It's very simple. Then I'm buying right now a jarred sauerkraut. This is a great brand. I never tried it till this last time, but I love it. It's really good. So there's several ones that you can get that are really good. You want to make sure they're refrigerated. If it's canned in a can, does not have any real, I mean, it may taste good, but the nutritional value is lost. So I do not add this in to heat up in the skillet. I keep it in a separate container for lunch as well. So I don't heat this up in the microwave or anything when I reheat my lunch. So you make sure you keep this in a separate container and cold. And then once you've heated up your sausage and onions, you add this in. I want the value of the sauerkraut if I'm gonna, go to the trouble of eating it. Now personally, I love sauerkraut. I would eat it anyway. And when I was a kid, I can remember my mom we would have homemade sauerkraut, and she would just cook the kraut and weenies, actual hot dogs, together in a skillet. I mean, that's fun memories. But truly, you're losing that value because when you heat the kraut, you're going to kill out those probiotics that you're going to gain from eating the sauerkraut. So just a little tip there about sauerkraut. So let's get this cooked and put together. I'm just going to use a little canola oil because I have it just a little bit left. A lot of people are against canola oil. My husband loves it. He doesn't like to cook with anything else. So I'll just show you that. It is expeller pressed canola oil. It is an organically grown brand. So here's the deal. I figure there's got to be some compromise sometimes. And he likes to cook with canola oil because it's a high temperature oil. And I don't know, it's just worth it to me to get the best I can, and then we compromise on that. I don't need much more onion. I'm just going to do this little half. So I'll kind of let my onions start cooking down first and season the oil up a little bit before I add in the sausage. And then it really only takes about 5 minutes. The sausage is already fully cooked, so really you're just heating it through with the onion to get that flavor. So I'm just going to cut that into chunks. My dog is standing here. If y'all could see him, he is so funny. Anytime you're cooking anything, he's in here under your feet, but he really knows when you're cooking any kind of meat. Please don't judge the knife skills. I'm not a seasoned chef at all. I try to make it pretty even, but I don't always accomplish that either. Might as well give the dog a treat. Alright, so now I'm going to just drop this in with the onions. I'm just going to stir that around and cook it up. So I'm just going to cook this till the sausage kind of browns a little bit and the onions start to wilt down. The onions will really flavor and season up the sausage, and it makes it just goes really well with the kraut. And that's a meal for me. That's all I'll have. Maybe throw an apple in the bag to have something after, but that will be my whole lunch. So I do this quite often when I have kraut that I'm wanting to get used up out of the fridge. I add it to salad, or I'll do this to help use it up and get my probiotics in. So I do want to finish up by saying all I'll do with this is I cook it down, I'll put it into dishes, it's stored in the fridge. Then all I have to do when I'm getting ready to leave for work is grab that out, throw it in the lunchbox with the cup of kraut, and then lunch is super easy. I wanted to talk about tomatoes. I'm not going to chop these today. I usually do my tomatoes at the time because when you chop them up too early, they get watery, and I don't like that. So I'll do these each day as I do my salad. Right now I can't get my usual organic grape tomatoes. So I just want to say that at certain seasons for us, and maybe where you are too, you can't always get organic produce. Do the best you can. I mean, we all just have to try to get by and get the best ingredients that we can. I do advocate for organic, but I don't want it to seem like that's all I ever eat. Sometimes you can't get it. So I'm going to wrap up the video here, you guys. Hopefully these ideas will help you think outside the box and meal prep. You can have part of your ingredients prep like the salad, and then at night when you're cooking, throw that extra piece of meat on, and then you've got your lunch for the next day. It's the way that I've done it for several years, and it works out really well. Certainly not going to eat out 3 times next week. So I'm scrapping up ingredients today and getting things together in order to make sure that I have things to take next week. I do encourage you to try to meal prep and do some lunches, because I found out this week from eating out that it is really hard to make good healthy choices without spending a small fortune, first of all, but just when you're there in the moment, it's really hard to make a healthy decision. If I have this to take, I don't have to think about it. It's there, I'm eating this. So it really goes a long way in helping you achieve your health goals. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please hit the like button. We've got some clean skincare videos coming up in the near future, so be sure and stay tuned and check those out. See you next time.